the next thing I wanted to talk about is walled gardens. And walled gardens are this very large ad ecosystems that are either very large publishing groups and more likely the big tech companies. And they the first party ecosystem is created when you have very vast amount of data about the users and you control all the properties where this user, like where the ads could be displayed. And a good example will be Facebook, Google, and Amazon, which are of course the largest, but there are more walled gardens being built because they are immune to the third-party cookie changes, because everything done is in third-party. I gave first party. I gave this example with Amazon. So you cannot block Amazon from collecting data while you are on Amazon website, which products you see, and then remarket you within Amazon website. And if they have sufficient amount of like time of you spending on Amazon website, then like they may not need even advertise anywhere else. And the same happens with Facebook and Google. And that's what's actually striking is like if you look at the value of the ad spend by different in different ecosystems, the open internet is growing, but it's growing much slower than Google, Facebook, Amazon, and there are some other platforms, of course, as well, which actually makes it quite hard for publishers to stay ahead, because they will not have the ability to use high quality data because they cannot use these data brokers, but they don't have sufficient first party data like Facebook, like Google, like Amazon. So actually these technological changes, which were to improve our privacy and to make some internet better, it actually gives more power into this walled garden ecosystem. So they are not affected by the demise of third-party cookies. They are best like example of success of first-party data because of their quality and quantity, and they are creating some sort of monopoly, oligopoly for advertising products. And as for of now, there is not much that can actually challenge their position. So regulators are unwilling to limit their power in case of using this customer data for advertising.
Maciej, I think there were two questions that related to the previous slide. Ranjita, you wanted to ask yours?
If you could throw some light on the open internet vis-a-vis the walled garden.
So the open internet is pretty much everyone else than Google, Facebook, Amazon. So you have all the publishers here, advertising agencies, etc. All the ad tech companies that are independent, they operate in this open internet bubble.
So there is no interdependence of these publishers and agencies on the data which Facebook, Google, and Amazon are tracking?
Yeah, so there is this dependencies that are like in this, because it's a sort of Gantt chart. So there are interdependencies that are like marked in here. And as you see, the biggest interdependencies with Google because of the AdSense, because of the Google double click for publishers, etc. And that's why there is so much interdependency in here and a bit less with Facebook and Amazon.
Thanks.
Suresh, you had a question, Suresh.
Yeah, it was related to I think that off Facebook activity. I think that it was recently in speculation, right? The off Facebook activity. Is it the walled garden of Facebook? It's something like that.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
There is a feature for off Facebook activity. I think there was one of the features which was in highlight recently, and many people were advised to remove that. Is it related because it was collecting information from Facebook, from the users when they're not even using Facebook?
Yeah. So with the like button, so the way it worked is that every page that had the like button like got the users tracked, That's actually going to be affected by the removal of third-party cookies, but I think they no longer use that. So they no longer they no longer use that data, or they are not going to be able to use that in the future. I'm not sure about the actual state of that. But that won't change the dominance of Facebook, because they have so much data just coming from the interactions within their ecosystem, that this data outside of Facebook was just supplemental to that. So I don't think that will change their position significantly.
So is there something called speech data also? Is there Google could capture, right? Is this true, or is it a fake thing?
With speech data, there is a lot of speculation about that, but
yes,
I don't think it's happening. It's also speculation with Alexa devices from Amazon, that Alexa is collecting this all the time. And it's not the case, but the case is that they are keeping the data while you activate it with the keyword, because it's they react to keyword, and if you say it by mistake, then it's collecting that. And actually, there were cases where this was used as in the criminal case, this data from Amazon. So I can imagine it's happening in a similar way with Google device speech assistant, but it's happening only when you are actually activating it. And this myth was created by that, because some people actually activated it by mistake, just saying a word during normal conversation with other people, that activate this speech assistant automatically.
Okay. And this one more thing, this incognito mode, which we say, right? Will it not solve all these kind of things?
But when you are browsing Google or Facebook, you are signed in always. So incognito mode does not change anything here. Also, if the publisher website asks you to log in to access the content, you have to log in. So you are no longer incognito. The incognito only helps with the third-party cookies and first-party cookies, because they are cleared after you close the incognito window. So when you come back to the website, you are still recognized as a new visitor. Correct. And that's it. If the website requires you to log in, you have to log in again. So that's inconvenient for the users. And if you use the login, then these players are not affected by incognito mode.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I have seen some people who are always in incognito mode and working. So that's I've seen.
That's inconvenient.
Inconvenience, correct. Yeah. But they are taking the trade-off from that inconvenience, and they don't want to go cognito kind of thing. Yeah, thanks.
One quick question, Maciej, is that let's say, have you in markets like India, some of the telco players? So, for example, in India, we have a massive telco. Actually, it's almost a fully integrated player which has a base of more than 350 million customers, right? So it's massive. He's massive, and this platform is building the full stack, right, from retail to e-commerce to entertainment, and obviously, starting with this massive base of consumers who have come on board for their 4G and now slowly moving to 5G services. So do you see these as emerging in any other markets as potential new walled gardens?
Yes, so I think this chart is mostly based on the US. First of all, there are other walled gardens like Alibaba in other parts of the world. And secondly, the telecoms and financial institutions are the new candidates for building walled gardens, because they have so much data and they have the properties, especially the telecoms that may also have media business, like Verizon or some companies that own, for example, OTT providers, or some on-demand video providers, and also telecom business. They have sufficient amount of properties where they can display advertising, and they can collect data about users, and they can actually be challengers to these American ad tech companies in providing local alternatives of the